But it's shrouded with a little bit of controversy as well, and it's opened up a lot of questions in regards to the feedback today.
Oh, what
Not
questions
just
is it
here
answered?
on the home of sport, but in other networks as well that normal dabble in that sort of, if you're not right into your sport, that bit of the dry stuff. Still talking about
What aspect are they talking about?
Well, whether it's sparked the debate around whether or not there should be the red card, the send-off, sin bin type.
Pox. I'm going an early pox. The calls for a red card is pox.
I'm yet to be convinced, and throughout the course of the day, when a little bit of feedback comes in,
No, I'm sure people
can...
they wanted to talk about it on the station all day. So if you got thoughts, give us a call 1300 736 736.
Here's the thing, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, Julio, that the AFL, the top level of AFL, that is the league.
Yes,
that's the only league that doesn't have
probably
at the lower levels. Actually, I'm not sure about the...
No, local footy.
Local footy does, but what about the reserves? Do they have the send-off?
I don't think so.
Well, outside of the main...
Yeah, the best league in every state.
Correct. Oh, does the
SANFL might have a
send-off? They might have a
send-off.
That
rings the bell. But
so,
how would you decide what's a send-off?
Well, that's just a stupid argument.
No, it's
and
not.
Everyone says, yeah, it is.
Why?
Well, how do you decide if that's in the back? How do you decide if that's holding the ball?
This is a game. This is a potential game-changing decision if you send someone off and it's not the right decision.
Well, I think Lee Matthews had a reasonable solution to that.
He would have got sent off a few times. There is a send-off rule.
Absolutely. But if there is an action and the umpire has deemed it send-offable, then off you go.
But what's send-offable?
Well, will there be a criteria around that? And certainly with the Tommy Stewart one, when you've decided to bump and a guy's concussed and being taken off on the stretcher, that's pretty click, that one.
What happens if you did exactly the same thing and Dion Prestia got up?
But all right, but if he's been hit in the head, we go, okay, you're in the sin bin, someone else comes on, so you're not playing with less men, and then they look at the review and then they say, oh, yeah, he looks okay, impact, make those judgments on the spot while the game's still going on.
So you might only be off for 10 minutes.
10 min. 10 min.
So you're not saying have just a hard and fast, you're off for the game?
Well, there is. It's like in other sports where it's like a yellow card or there's a degree of which you're going to be sent. I think in rugby union, and out there someone might be able to tell me this, they do have two different levels of one is you might get 10, 15
minutes. Yeah, rugby
minutes.
league's got that. You're 10 minutes in the
bin. But that you can get one where you go, ta-da, that's just so severe, you've breached the rules and you're out. So there could be a hierarchy of indiscretions that fall into different categories. And yeah, you know what? There will be a grey area like that from time to time, and you will do it. But if it acts as a deterrent to not having an impact on the game like it did the other day, then that may not be a bad thing. Now, like I said, I'm renowned for sitting on the fence, even though I don't do it a lot. Just because you can understand another person's argument doesn't mean you're sitting on the fence. But what I will say on this one, I'm still not sure about the merits of it both ways. So I probably lean more towards I think it's worth having a look at.
If Tom Stewart played a stinker...
No send-off in SANFL, fellas.
No, I think...
They have the out-of-bounds one, whether the last touch or whatever.
If Tom Stewart played a stinker after that incident, would we be talking about this?
If the rule is in place...
If Dion Prestia was an ordinary Richmond player, would we be talking about it? We wouldn't be talking about it.
I think well, it depends on what the rules are. If the rules are right now and that was the case, I think we'd still talk about it. We'd be having a different conversation. But given the severity of the impact, then I think that it raises a very, very valid question because of what happens and how a player is removed. Now, I know that you don't see it, and in fact, I don't know if you saw it much in history, but there could be the thought process of, well, let's sacrifice
Go
someone.
out there and maim someone.
And which is...
Well, we've had that in the past.
Yeah, well, that's just stupid, and we don't want any part of that.
Dave from Langwarrin. G'day, Dave.
Well, look, Gazy, I don't mind the idea that you want a red card. Unfortunately, mate, we've got to get the umpires to actually call a free kick first.
Yeah.
Both those incidents on Saturday, the hit on Prestia, and then later in the last quarter, the hit on Baker.
Yeah.
He was possibly received concussion. We're not sure, but neither of them got a free kick, mate.
No.
Both of them were.
Yep.
Like, you get these non-officiating umpires when it's a little tug of the jumper or something. and a non-officiating umpire can see that from half a football field away.
Yep.
But it comes to something so blatant, so obvious, not even the main umpire can see it. I mean, seriously, that's where I'd like to see the whatever they call it upstairs.
The arc.
Well, Dave, what about this for an idea? And I know Eddie Maguire spoke about it. Is it okay? Maybe your boundary umpires are not going to be there to make infield decisions. But what about in incidents like this?
No.
Well, why?
We
There's another set of eyes if they're there to say, hey, something happened here.
One of the three umpires should see that.
Well, but if they don't, what is wrong? Either, as Dave alluded to, perhaps even after the event, you go upstairs and at the next stoppage of play, the message comes out, hey, no, mate, Keefe, he's out. He's got to go for at least 10 because of what we've seen on the vision. Or in
So
game,
you're saying the boundary umpire can make that decision?
if they've seen something that Dave is alluding to.
So not even for a free kick, you're talking about for a send-off?
I'm talking about an infraction.
Well, they do that in soccer.
Yeah, an infraction that's happened that you can, you don't need to carry a red flag, but there's got to be a way in which to signal to say, oh, I've seen something. Okay, it's not a drop in the ball. It's not an infield.
It's got to be something serious.
It's got to be one that constitutes a review of something that would require a send-off or that type of penalty. Hey?
That's not the worst.
Dave?
Play's got to be stopped. It's got to be play's got to be stopped. Reverse the ball 50 metres as well. That's from the third umpire. I should be calling that.
Yeah, but if the play's already gone and you've had a few more play phases,
I don't think
it's
you can
hard to bring it back.
Nah, it's a bit hard with the continuous nature of the AFL. Thanks for your call,
but
Dave.
If the boundary umpire's there and they see it straight away and there's those types that you allow them to make some sort of adjudication on, then maybe Dave's right. They see it, boop, out back you go, 50, and then a further penalty of 50 metre, and then it gets to the conversation that we were having earlier, whether it warrants a red and yellow card.
It's hard to believe not one of the three umpires would have seen that for a free kick on the weekend. Let's get to Muzza from Geelong, who wants to talk to Australia's captain, Andrew Gaze. Muzz.
Muzza.
Da, 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 da.
I was waiting for it, Muzza.